Hello. Making a van video at the public library. We went to the horse. It was wonderful. And I want to make another video now. And I want to tell people to always have your animal together with another animal, with a companion animal. Even if you spend a lot of time with your animal, most likely people are not living in the same living space. They're not living with the animal on the meadow or in a greenhouse or in a barn. Right? Usually that doesn't happen. I mean, that would be very rare. So I would be a very rare example of that. That's what I'm planning on doing for the future. So we want to get a large land, and we would like to rescue large animals, and then have them live with us inside of a very large greenhouse, commercial greenhouse. But that gets very expensive after the first greenhouse. It's a dome tunnel. They're about 20 or 30 feet wide, probably 30 feet wide, and they're about 40 feet, 50 feet long. Okay, so that's not that much living space. They're already very expensive. I'm going to research this afterwards. So I already researched it a couple of years ago. I don't know, I think it was 50,000. So, and then getting another one, then we are up to 100,000. Then we have four, we have 200,000. So that's what you spend for a regular family home. But that's a much better home. So, the land itself is relatively reasonably priced right now at this point, so in some areas at least. So it depends on the area, of course. So if you go inland, the prices are lower, and I like inland. I like that very much. I like to be away from the large communities. So that's really a dream of mine. I have been very much despair the last 2 days because we don't have internet, and when I'm at home I get into a state of despair, and I need friends to talk to, and I don't have friends to talk to, and then my state of mind I get very lonely, even though I have a companion animal, Paul. So, and we have deer in the garden and all of this. We're social animals, We need to be together with other people and with animals and with other beings. This is very, very important. So, what a cute dog. Oh my God, that's the same dog, Paul. Look, that's the same dog. That same cutesy. Oh, I love him so much. I can't show because I don't know. I can't film other people, so. But that dog is so cute. Oh my God. Like a brindle American Bully. Looks almost like a mix between American Bully, Bulldog, and Pitty. So real cute dog. So I saw him here before. So yeah, I love dogs. I love horses. I love pigs. And there's a guy, his name is Lee Asher. He has a ranch. He used to be into business and into working in an office and making a lot of money. I guess he was a CEO of a company or something. And then at his free lunch breaks, he would always go to the dog pound and spend time with the dog. So eventually he decided to quit his job and to rescue dogs. And that's what he has been doing ever since. And now he just rescued a baby pig. He posted that video on Facebook. Lee Asher, my dream man. My the ultimate dream man. So, but he's probably already engaged with someone and not looking for another partner to hang out with. So, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I would love to live there and help him rescue dogs. I would love to do that. And that would be really a dream come true for me to meet a man like Lee Asher. Wow, that would be a dream come true. Can you imagine? I find real love in my life. Real love. A real man who really loves me and who really wants to be with me and who appreciates me and who appreciates me being a whole foodist, mainly vegan. So that would be so incredibly amazing. That would be so super. Yeah. It's good to dream, it's good to wish for something and to put things into your wish box. And that dog is so cute. Oh, baby. Oh, cutie. So, yeah, it was nice to see the horses. And he also made a video of the Fjord horse, but then he showed the license plate. Yay, way. Like, for way too long, half a minute or something. Like, real good look at the license plate. Okay. No, we could not use that video, of course. So that's too bad, that one has to pay attention to all of these things all the time, like non-stop. But it is what it is. So, if people didn't have emotional trauma, then we wouldn't have to worry about license plates or locking our doors. Wouldn't have to worry about any of that stuff. We could leave our purse sitting on the sidewalk, come back the next day, will still be there, with all the money in it and the driver's license and the IDs and all of that, social security card, everything. So now I left my purse in Paul's car one time when we first met each other. We went with the dogs to the beach at night. We always did these things at night. We came back to the car. It was burglarized. The window was broken. His boombox was gone, and my purse was gone too. With the money, with my credit card, with my driver's license, with my social security card, everything. And then after that, people used my ID to open up many different businesses that obviously didn't work, and they used all of my addresses, and they ruined my credit, whatever. That doesn't matter to me anyway, so I'm not opening up businesses anyway. So, but yeah, I had to quickly go to the bank. I had Bank of America at that time. I went to the police station. I reported that burglary. I went to their phone. I called Bank of America. I had to quickly disconnect that credit card before someone would draw money out of it. And that was my parents' credit card. So yeah, that is how it is. Can you
This high school physics teacher built a device to give America
turn the volume off? So yeah, but anyway. So it is what it is. This is my situation. I don't have internet. I don't have friends. I'm very lonely. I feel very boxed up and caged, and I'm a social animal. I need to socialize with people. It's very depressing. There were moments where I felt like I'm gonna go, but then I'm gonna be homeless. Paul is gonna be lonely, and that's gonna be really hard. When someone is older and then totally alone, I can't just leave him alone. And so it's really hard. We were talking about this when on our way to the library from the horse. We were talking about how dangerous it is for a mammal, for a mammal or bird, maybe some other species too, some very complex ocean animals, like ocean animals. I'm not talking about the whales. The whales are also related to us. They're mammals. Okay, so one. That's it. So, thank you, Blue God, for the kisses and the hugs, with the numbers of encouragement and protection. So the whales are our distant cousins. They're mammals. I'm talking about other totally different genii subgroups, overgroups, different species, completely different type of species, like octopus, who have developed parallel to humans and are at about the same cognitive level as we are, and they have split off from that branch of evolution on the nematode stage. That's very, very long time ago. That's long before the Jurassic. Okay? Long time ago, when there were only nematodes on this planet. Nematodes, like invertebrates. So. And they split off, and we split off in the other direction. So, and they're totally flexible in the water, and they're still invertebrates, but highly intelligent. Okay, and we are vertebrates. We have vertebrates in our back. We have hard bone structures. We are land animals. And the whales are coming from land animals. So they have gone back into the ocean. So, and the octopus too, I would assume they too need friends. You can't just put them into an aquarium and leave them there. They'll try to get out, and they will get out. There have been cases where they had in some kind of aquarium where they studied ocean animals. The scientists studied ocean animals and different octopi species. They had incidences where the octopus would get out of the aquarium, walk across those laboratory tables, get everything messed up, the pens, the paper, all of them, and then walk into the other aquarium where the other octopus was, so that they don't have to be alone. So obviously, when a species becomes that complex, that's a species that cannot be left alone. Okay, they cannot be solitary. Okay, they have to be together with other beings. Even cats, as I talked about this before, they do want company. They want to be petted. They want to be able to go to someone and hang out with someone. They're quite territorial among each other, but they want, once they trust another cat or dog or human. They really prefer that situation over the solitary situation. So once they got used to it. It's just that they weren't used to it, and they evolved into being predators at night and all of this. So owls too. I heard an owl last night again. I love hearing the owl. And the owls too, just like cats, they have similar eyes like cats, even bigger eyes, and they have unbelievably sharp vision, much more than we have. They can see every worm from far distant. And even at night, they have night vision eyes. And so sometimes I hear owls communicating with each other from tree to tree. That happens sometimes. And when they get used to each other, then they would also prefer that situation. Birds are very, 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 very into being together with other birds or other animals. It's very, very important. Paul was talking about the parrots that Heidi Fleiss rescued, like there was one parrot girl for 50 years in solitary confinement in someone's cellar. How cruel is that, Loneliness is cruel, and it has to end, okay? And it ends with you by bringing your bird either to a bird rescue place or by letting the bird free. Depends on the situation. If you live in a tropical area and you have a parrot or one of those tropical birds, one of those canary birds, parakeets, or macaws, or one of those toucans, I highly recommend to you to free that bird, to let him go, let him free. He might come back to visit, but let him free, okay? Very, very important, okay? They have to fly in order to have endorphins in their bodies. Same with whales. They have to be swimming high speed for many miles every day to stay healthy, to have a healthy body and immune system and nervous system. Okay, this is very important. People seem to not understand this when they put a whale into a swimming pool at SeaWorld or something. That's so incredibly cruel. Okay, and also, and loneliness is probably the absolute worst cruelty there is. I know now and I'm not even that lonely. I have Paul, I have the deer, I see cats, I see birds, We go to the internet every 3 days. I talk to people. But even that is already making me feel very, very despaired and very lonely. Very, very lonely. I cry sometimes all day long. So making videos helps me. So I feel for the animals 100% every day, every night when I go to bed. I ask the blue God to protect all living beings and to give every living being a companion so that they don't have to feel loneliness. The worst thing is solitary confinement. That's the only thing that I agree with Governor Newsom, is that had to be abolished. Okay, and that's what he did. So he abolished solitary confinement in California. That's absolutely spot on. But the other things, there are lots of other things that he's not using smart thinking and thinking about consequences in the future and all of that. That's with the homeless situation and with criminals in general. So we need to have, like I said before, we need to have cluster B, cluster A. We need to have an open clinic, and we need to have drug rehab clinics, sanatoriums, so for people. There need to be 4 different therapy help centers. Okay, that's very, very important. And people who are taking drugs and people who are on the street, homeless, with schizoid personality disorders, and people who are cluster B, who are delinquent, who are criminals, who are psychopaths and sociopaths. Those need to be in the cluster B centers. So, and these 3 centers need to be closed stations. They need to be closed wards. That's the only way to go, and they have to be put in there, and whether they want it or not. This young couple here that we keep seeing here at this landscape of the public library, they come here, and someone just recently took their shopping cart away. So obviously, the police, when they see homeless people taking shopping carts, they make them take their stuff out, and they bring the shopping cart back to the stores. So in Germany, they have a coin system for shopping carts. You have to put €1 in coin into that slot in order to get a shopping cart out, and then you put them back together, and you put that lock back into it. So, and that's how they manage to keep these shopping carts together, so they don't end up in some river, as it has been here in the United States. In LA, has always been really bad. Ever since I got there, from day one, it was like that. And mafia people would dump corpses into the aqueduct, and sometimes the water was smelling absolutely horrific, and I was wondering why. So Paul told me later, that is what they call black water. The mafia just dumps corpses and cars into the aqueduct. Like, dude, that's the water you drink too. But they don't think this far. They're cluster B, and they need to be booked. These people. That's what has to happen. Some people need to be force booked. That's all there is to it. They don't know how to function in the world. Okay, that's why it's very important to talk about it, but not to put someone like Charles Manson into solitary confinement, because that's cruelty. Okay, that's absolutely cruel. Even if someone has been cruel to animals and other people, there's plenty of cruel people that are completely not well in the head. Okay. But I still don't want them to be put into solitary confinement or be tortured in some way. Okay, solitary confinement is torture. Okay, so the legal system, I don't know how far the legal system understands that. Governor Newsom understands that. That's good. Okay, so but then he doesn't handle the homeless situation. He thinks nobody should be force booked. Of course they need to. They're taking this couple here, for example. They made drug use legal in Oregon. Okay, so I guess that has to be like this, because this has to be out in the open. Otherwise, it gets onto the black market, and it gets more into human trafficking and those kind of things. So they're trying to avoid that. This entire chain, this entire drug mafia needs to come out into the open. Okay. And these things, because they function on these things being illegal. Okay, that's how they make their money. That's their niche. So that all needs to come to the open. But this couple, for example, they live in brushes and they make a big mess there. They leave all kinds of stuff, paraphernalia in there that a dog or a child could step into, which is not cool at all. But they don't think this far. Maybe not all drug addicts are the same, but most of them are. We've seen people, they would be dumping their trash 10 feet away from a trash can. They would just eat something, dump the trash on the parking lot, and then walk past the trash can, for example. That's the total unempowered state. That's the state of mind that the scientists at the Primate Research Center in Göttingen, Germany, that's what they were talking about. I went to one day very interesting scientific lecture event at that university, and we went there with the Rotary Club through my dad, and it was very interesting. And I think one of the lecturers was Robert Sapolsky in a striped T-shirt when he was still young. So that's really cool. So and so these scientists, they were talking about that. They were observing, and I could never work there because I would intercept and ruin the whole project because I could not stand seeing monkeys torturing other monkeys, okay? But that's what's happening, that's what they observe. They're very much like humans, very, very unwell in the head and all of these things. Same neurotic patterns, and they have homelessness, just like that. When one monkey is excluded from the group, they stop grooming themselves. Okay, that's what you see with homeless people. They don't groom themselves anymore, and then they take drugs, and then it's compounded. Drugs also makes them not want to pay attention to anything else other than the drugs. And they did tests with rats, and they found out that the rats too will stop eating, and they will even stop drinking water just to press the lever that will trigger the area in the brain that releases endorphins and these hormones and chemicals that trigger this pleasure center in the brain. So they forget about everything else. So the same with the homeless people. They don't think this far to see, oh, this is completely ruining their lives. This is worse than death. This is the ultimate torture, what they're living there. But they don't understand it. They don't see it. Jiddu Krishnamurti was always talking about if people understood the danger of all of these different things, also the danger of tribalism and religion, if they understood the grave danger of that, it would be like a bus coming towards you where you naturally jump out of the way, and that's your natural instinctive intelligence. But people have lost that touch with that instinctive natural intelligence, particularly when it comes to things that are a little bit more around the corner, a little bit more obscured, a little bit more abstracted than the bus coming towards you. A homeless person would probably still jump out of the way when the bus comes, right? There may be people that wouldn't even do that anymore. Okay, so but they don't see the danger of the drugs, or people don't see the danger of the religion, what it does, how it divides people. So I wished I could convey this message to the world. I really wished that would be really good. And I try to get at the subject from many different angles and perspectives, and with many different examples, as many different examples that I can come up with, to make this understood, to make this more understandable, this situation. So we need 4 therapy help center, 3 of them closed, 1 open. So very, very important. And you cannot put an animal or child or adult human into solitary confinement. You cannot lock a being up. You cannot segregate a living being from another living being or from a group. You cannot do this. Okay. And people tend to do this out of their neurosis. They tend to shun people out of their communities. People are very prejudiced, and people are very group-oriented in a bad way also, very hierarchy-oriented, of course. That's all human ape. That's what we have in common with all the other monkeys and primates. But we have a convoluted neocortex, and this neocortex should be used to understand ourselves and to understand social psychology better, in order to prevent those kind of situations from happening, where people are put or animals are put into a segregated situation or into a lonely room or space or separated or whatever, and how cruel this is. And to avoid that situation. You must avoid that situation. Very, very important. Okay, you guys take care. Bye-bye.